That was a really interesting trailer. Is there anything that particularly triggered it? I know there's a lot of far right beliefs rising lately. Yeah.
First of all, welcome to the audience, and thanks for including also the trailer in this festival. In essence, I'm an academic. I'm a professor of law at BUL, Brunel University of London. And although, as you say, the topic of migration is a highly politicized also topic, my approach is to approach it from also not only a legal perspective, but a perspective that gives the emphasis to underlining the themes that are behind the lines, and giving the viewers the opportunity to see both sides of the debate and then form a responsible view. Because unfortunately, many times, as we see, especially in our times, we tend to tag people as belonging to certain fields. And my aspiration as academic, as a person, was to show that in essence, all these topics have more kind of basis that relates also to more fields, and they have to be treated like that. So this spanned my whole aspiration to create this film. And about the trailer, in essence, it's a kind of a taste, it's a spoiler of what is inside also the film. But we can maybe speak about, through your second question, about the film itself and the skeleton of the film and how I decided to actually make it here.
Yeah, so the second question is, how did you develop the initial idea into a fully developed film?
So the good thing is, first of all, I was lucky in the sense that BUL gave me a public engagement fund. There is a public engagement fund that gave me a public engagement grant in order to create the film. I had the idea of making a docudrama. So this is what, in essence, you saw also here in the trailer. So the film is about 72 minutes. And the first half hour is more about my interaction. So I kind of play myself. It's the interactions of a law professor, and I keep my name, so I didn't change my name in the film. But in essence, the first half has two main, let's say, scenes. This more kind of drama part of the film. Because to tell you the truth, although we saw tonight very good examples of documentaries, especially the documentary that was featured by Tim, that they are very good, was a very good work. Some documentaries can be boring sometimes, the sequence of the interviews. I didn't want, especially not being myself a professional filmmaker, I didn't want to enter into this trap and make a film that would be boring to the wider public. So I decided to kind of combine the two aspects, the dramatic aspects and the more kind of classical documentary aspect. So the first half an hour, it's three scenes, and these three scenes have also a sequence, a logical sequence, and a thematic sequence. So in the first scene, I appear, as you saw here in the trailer, debating and discussing in the pub with a friend of mine. She's an actress, of course, Sarah Lockett, but she's playing an academic friend of mine from Oxford and also from Australia, because Australia also had the boat refugees and the whole phenomenon some years ago, and the whole debate was also very acute to that country. So along these lines, she plays this character, and we discuss also the legal, the academic parameters, my feelings about instigating the whole plan and the whole scheme. The second scene is being played in front of the Huguenot House in East London. I wanted also to showcase the fact that the migration debate is not only contemporary, but it spans also back into time. So already in the 18th century, we had the Huguenots coming in this country, and the same debate was also sparked at that time. So I gave also the historical perspective. The third scene, in essence, is I'm speaking with Karina John, who is in essence is playing the anonymous refugee. So according to the script, I meet her in a bench randomly, and that's why she doesn't show her face. I tried like this to show how refugees and asylum seekers face hurdles of integration many times in the wider society, and sometimes they are not ready to open themselves towards the new environment. And then I was a bit lucky and privileged to have members of parliament being interviewed, as you saw again in the trailer, And they gave again the different perspectives, members of parliament coming from different political fields. So it was not a kind of monolithic movie.
That's really cool. And so you said you were a law professor. Is there anything about the film world that inspired you specifically with the direction of the film?
Yes, the truth is, in my legal career, in my academic legal career, I have written pieces of literature that pertain to refugee law, to migration. But I always believe, as a law professor, that the academia must open its doors to the wider public. And fortunately, it was a vision also that BUL shared with me, and they gave me this opportunity. And that's why this film is not a legalistic film, it's not a boring film. At least this was my aspiration, to make it also accessible to the wider public. And again, there is also the legal touch in the film, meaning I've interviewed legal experts about the Supreme Court also here in this country. We had last year judgments of the US Supreme Court regarding the so-called Rwanda scheme, when the previous UK government wanted to send some asylum seekers to Rwanda. But again, the idea is not to instill any political tone to the film, but just to showcase the whole kind of intrigues and the whole details that pertain to the migration debate.
That's really cool. And yes, so I'll open the questions to everybody else.
Like generally always like why I have too many questions for everything. So you're a law professor, and like what triggered you to get it? And like shooting a documentary, it's not an easy job. Like you don't go like, yeah, I need money, I'm gonna shoot some documentary. What triggered you? What was the moment that you said like, I'm gonna do this on this topic? Do you have that sort of a moment? Or
in essence, usually law academics should, if they do not do it in practice, but we are all imbued by the sense of social justice. This is the purpose of law, also to administer justice. And along these lines, it's our duty as academics to highlight also the social problems and the social issues that pertain to the wider debates, contemporary debates. But our responsibility, again, is not to politicize the debates, but to show their objective nature and to try to put them in the truer, more kind of realistic dimensions, showing both sides, and each person, according to his or her dispositions, political dispositions, can decide. But we have the opportunity and the responsibility to present both sides of the debate. So when I got this grant from BUL, I was very happy. I thought, in which field, and again, as I told you, I write about migration, so it was not because I specialize in international law. So along these lines, it was something pertinent for me to enter into this and catch this topic. Again, to tell the truth, it was a bit intriguing also for me, meaning that it was not always easy to interview, to have the politicians agree to get interviewed. But again, because the university stood behind, because they understood my caliber, that I wanted to do something not politicized and not something that would trap any politician or participant, they happily in the end agreed. And I think that also shows in the final movie.
Great. And I have a final question myself. Do you think that this film would maybe change the opinions of other people?
I don't want necessarily to change the opinions of other people. The objective of the film is not necessarily to change opinions. The objective of the film is to demonstrate the different opinions and to make us understand as human beings that in essence topics are not monolithic. And when we participate in a certain debate, as I say in the trailer, I want to create dialogues between the different people. And I think that's one of the shortcomings that we have as modern society. We get entrenched to our positions and we are not ready even to listen, to get to the shoes of the other person. So this was the objective of the film. And also the final highlight, the more artistic highlight, that if I can add on this, is the song that I wrote. A song whose lyrics and music I wrote with the same title, Migrating Fears. And again, I was privileged that the professional singer, Kelly Ayres, sang it. Both trailer and song are also on YouTube. Of course, the song also on Spotify and the other classical sources where songs can be found. So I think it's there that I channel more my kind of artistic creativity. Whereas also I tried to show in this film the scientific aspects, but again, beyond the legal world.
Great. Any final questions? Perfect. Thank you so much for talking.
Thank you very much.